with quick introductions. I'm Shweta. I'm Principal Product Manager and leading SCM and Commerce portfolio from India. And yeah, so we started this group, Meetup group, as a new initiative in India. So I think we'll talk about it later. But before that, I'll hand it over to Niranjan for his quick introduction.
Hi, everyone. I'm Niranjan Maski. I'm a Principal Product Manager for Dynamics 365 Project Operations product operating out of India. Looking forward for this particular session where we would like to share more about what project operations is and really excited.
Okay, thank you, Niranjan. So let me quickly cover. We have only Manish and Jurgen. Are you guys aware about Meetup already?
No, Sudha, it's my first time I joined Meetup.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So let me quickly give a quick walkthrough of what is DUG. Right. So it's basically it was founded in 1995, and we are using this platform to host our sessions. It's called Dynamic User Groups, and it's one of the longest running independent community, right? And anybody is free to join this DUG meetup sessions. It could be the customer, partner, or ISVs, right? So idea is to spread the knowledge around Dynamics, and it's having around 47,000 plus community members as of today. And we started with this DUG India chapter just 1 or 2 months ago, and this is our second session. So what are these meetups, right? As I told you, it's like regional. It is done at regional levels, basically at local level, and where you can engage at a local level and do your community building by doing a lot of topics around Dynamics. It could be the topics could vary on multiple levels, right? And this is mostly for education purpose and not to sell anything or do the marketing, right? So this is purely for education and awareness perspective. Right. So DUG user group, it has multiple programs and different groups and forums, like it has DUG forum, DUG conferences. DUG Meetup is where we are hosting this. And then they also have a lot of local regional conferences, and one of their largest event in Las Vegas, which they do every year as a part of DynamicsCon. So I'll speak about that later. Yeah, so this is the one which I was talking about, DynamicsCon, which happens in Las Vegas every year. So this time it's happening in May. In case you guys are interested, you guys can go ahead and register for it. Then they have also the calls for session for DynamicsCon, which is happening in May. Right. And these are, so they do events at different level, right? One is at the DynamicsCon, which happens in Las Vegas. Then this is the regional cons. So they plan around 8 to 9 regional cons across different countries, right? So these are some of the regional cons which are coming up in 2026. So there are around, if you see, 9 regional cons which are planned in 2026. So that's a little bit about DUG. I hope it gives you some idea about what DUG is.
Okay.
Okay, great. I think we'll move on to the agenda. Over to you, Niranjan.
Yeah, let me share my screen. I had a couple of polls. I'll not go because we have only less number of participants here. I will maybe ask. Okay, let it run. Okay, fine. So let me run the poll. So hi everyone. Thanks for joining for this particular session. You'll see a couple of polls on your screen. I know Sriram, Sweta are not part of it, but I mean, I just want to understand what describes you well, right? So are you a partner, or are you a user of Dynamics? Are you an enthusiast of Dynamics? Or are you a student? Are you going to explore the world? So just wanted to understand where you are so that we'll be able to tune my conversation according to that. Okay, so we have mostly people coming from partner organizations. Is the poll visible for people?
Yeah,
Niranjan, it's not working. When we click on submit button, that
No, I mean, you need to select a radio button and submit, Manish.
uh, I click on first working modernizing partner for Microsoft, but it's not working.
Okay, okay, fine. Let's try this out. I think we're trying this poll. Not sure whether this is accessible in all the teams, clients, whatever you have. Okay, fine. If that is not working, I mean, just want to understand, are you a partner or are you a user of Dynamics or are you a student who is trying to learn? Maybe you can.
I think maybe folks can come out of the
For
mute.
me, it worked. I said
Okay.
I'm a partner and I submitted. So for me, it worked.
Got it. So Shubham, Munawar, are you also from a partner community?
Hi Niranjan, good afternoon. I'm a user of Dynamics 365, currently employed and want to explore more around project operations and how it works with project management and accounting in D365.
Got it. Understood. Okay. Munawar?
Yeah. Hi, Niranjan. We are also using the 365, but I want to know how efficiently we can utilize it in the project management process.
Okay, fantastic. I think most of the people who joined today are the people who are either using project operations or partner who was implementing project operations. So let me give you a quick overview of why we landed in project operations when we are trying to talk about project to profit business process, right? If you had attended the Doug session, which was conducted a month back, you would have seen the business process workflow which we are trying to inculcate all with all our partners, and also this is the journey which we are trying to address with Dynamic 365 suite of products, right from concept to market, design to retire, prospect to quote, forecast to plan, hire to retire, all the way to record to report, right? So you might have seen order to cash kind of business process working in ERP, and source to pay in your procurement scenario, and a plan to produce. So these are all the standard business process what we have. And within that, if you look at an project to profit as a business process, what we are trying to claim is that project operations is going to help you in the end-to-end journey of project to profit business process. While it helps in project to profit, it is not independent, right? I mean, it will be able to tie back to the rest of the business process. That means it can fit into any of your existing ERP system where you have one or more of such business processes, and you'll be able to manage your projects right from the developing project strategy, managing project contracts, planning a project, managing the project delivery, financials, and also analyze the project performance. In the end-to-end business process, you'll be able to use project operations. And how is that possible? I'm not going to drain the slide. I mean, it is there for you to refer it later. But right from a developing project strategy, right? I mean, when you're defining a project strategy, you need to understand how exactly you want to distribute your projects, how you want to define your resourcing units or organization units, how you want to define those project contracts, right? Which you like how does the estimates would flow, how do you create cost estimates, sales estimates, and how do you negotiate on the contracts, and how do you plan your projects, which is one of the primary need of a project planning, project operations kind of a solution, where you have a complex project, you have ton of deliverables on your as a responsibility, and you have bunch of resources who are working on those deliverables, and you really want to manage the entire task scheduling of that, and resource scheduling of that, resource management of that, budget of those projects, and how do you govern them, right? And also try to understand your project financials. When do I invoice as a project manager? What is the revenue I mean, if it is a fixed price project, how do I recognize the revenue? And finally, manage your understand your project performance and by monitoring your project risks, have a status report for it. So in the end-to-end business process of a project to profit, project operations is a product which can cater to all the needs in this entire business process, and will also equally easily integrate with the rest of the business process what we have in any ERP. Not only that, we also kind of enabling it with Copilot in every other use case. You see the Copilot icon lighting up in bunch of scenarios, but not on all. So that means we are on a journey where we are starting with a few key critical process where we are infusing AI and AI agents, not in everything right now, but the goal is we want to modernize our project operations as a product with AI-enabled business process end to end, wherever it makes sense. Let us, I mean, if someone asks you a question, if you're a partner or if you're actually responding to an RFP, if someone asks you, hey, I mean, why do you need a project operations kind of solution? I am good right now and I am actually executing my projects well. Why do you think you need a project operations kind of a solution? For that, I would recommend you can use this analogy, which worked really well, is that in most of the companies where they don't have a proper project management or a project operations management solution, things are actually running in Excels primarily with respect to your cost. That means the resource cost is in huge Excel. What is the cost of a role and what is the sales price of the particular role is in huge Excel, which can be referred by the business leaders or the sales leaders. And the moment the plan is ready, they will put a number against that, which will actually result in a quote. And the quote will be, if you ask me whether the quote is equivalent to the cost which I'm going to really spend in a project, may not be the case. The reason being, the Excel sheets are not as frequently updated, and we cannot bring the differentiation with respect to the cost arbitrage, whatever we have. That is a problem at a quote level. And when it comes to project managers, the moment they have 10 projects, it might work well. The moment we have 100 projects, it might be difficult, but still work. But if there are 1,000 projects and all your plans are residing in Excels or MPPs or disjoint data silos, now at an organization level, as a COO, you want to understand how is my resource utilization? What exactly is my profitability with respect to this particular location, this particular geography, this particular division? You will never be able to get to that unless you churn bunch of Excels and come out with a still an approximate number, not real number. And you have your problems with respect to your team members who are responsible for delivering a project are not given the same kind of tasks or the activities which are actually agreed upon in your contract. Right? So there is a disjoint contract to plan to or task management lifecycle. So because of disparate systems and the data silos, you as a different personas of the project operations execution, you will face a lot of challenges when you actually grow. So project operations is a product which actually brings all these project-centric business process together in one single process, single app, I would say, where all the roles which are responsible for successful execution of a project, right from the project managers, resource managers, account managers, partner managers, CXOs, finance managers, and team members will be able to do the best what they are supposed to do, and which will improve the your overall project efficiency, delivery, and a visibility into your project execution, and you'll be able to run the operations pretty efficiently. So that is the primary value proposition of what project operations is. Let us look at different personas whom we are serving, right? So starting with the account manager, a sales manager we can think of, right? So if you the sales manager or the account manager is the one who is actually starting with the leads opportunities. We do have Dynamics 365 sales as an offering. if someone is using Dynamics 365 Sales as an offering, the leads and operations which are generated in the sales application, and if they're related to project, they'll directly land into project operations without any integration implementation need, right? So that means since it is a database-based model-driven app, any change or any lead or an opportunity which is created in the HTTP sales because of your campaign, because of your customer insights journey which you have run, or any reach out opportunity reach out which you have done with your leads, which are qualified into opportunities, will directly be available in your project operations. Once we have an opportunity, one can be convert that into a quote, and you can create multiple versions of the quote, compare the quote, where when you say quote, it is not a simple quote, right? You will be able to bring the plan, the real plan, what it means to build that particular project for which you received an RFP, and you'll be able to get the real cost and the real sales value of that particular quote, and you can do a comparison of multiple quotes. And once you negotiate and conclude with your customer, you'll be able to define a contract for it. So this is an end-to-end business process of an account manager as a persona, where right from the leads all the way to contract management related to projects for both time and material and fixed price kind of a projects can happen within the project operations console, right? Now we have, once your quote is won and the contract is created, that there should be a seamless handoff between contract to the project plan, which actually will define what has been agreed upon by your customer in your project quote phase is something which is being actually executed, right? So that means the project manager and the resource manager are the people who are actually coming into play during the execution of the project once the project has won. And project managers, resource managers also will play a role during a quote phase as well, where they will provide the approximate plans, approximate estimates, and approximate resource needs for this particular project to succeed. Once the project is won, you can define the resource manager can go and find the real resource who is available at that point of time for the project execution, and the negotiation between project management and the resource management can happen. It can be in central resource management capabilities, where you have all the resources managed by a resource management kind of a function, who are responsible for distributing the resources for multiple activities, right? And you can also have an integrated resource management solution where project managers themselves are responsible for resource management as well. Having said that, in both the cases, the capability is available with project operations, where you'll be able to manage the resource needs for a project, which are matching to the schedules of the project and the schedules of the resource as well, right? So that is the beauty of it, where you'll be able to marry these two schedules together, and you'll be able to find the right resource and who is having the needed skills as well. So that is the kind of capability. When it comes to project management, we have an exhaustive project management solution, right from task management, managing task schedules, dependencies, assigning the resources against the task. You can create the dependencies like all the goodness, whatever we have in the IP of Microsoft project is available within the shell of project operations. So that means whatever you could do in a Microsoft project plan, you can do that in the project operations shell itself. Similarly, in the resource management, whatever you could do in the schedule boards of all the resources, the schedule of the particular resource, and matching that particular resource schedule to a requirement, those things also will happen within the project operations schedule, project operations shell itself. So that means we brought two different products and the capabilities and bundled together along with other business processes to create a product which works for the end-to-end project operations management, right? So that is the key couple of key personas which we support, project manager and resource manager. Then we also have a other persona which we kind of treat them as our one of the primary persona is a team member. So when you see team member, so these are the people who are responsible for the delivery of the project, or you can consider these are the people who are the resources who are actually bookable resources who are actually delivering the things for you. So they need to have an easy way of actually delivering the activities and also delivering doing the needed activities for the billing purposes of your project. That means time entry will become very critical for you to invoice your project well, right? So, and we do have an integrated time entry module which is available for both on mobile and also desktop, and an expense management in F&O world we do have in a mobile app as well, and material management, material usage, and task progress and approvals can be done on a mobile app as well. So these are all the different capabilities what we have on the go, and we also have on the web as well. The other persona which we support is project accountant. So accountant is a persona who is responsible for identifying, scheduling the invoices, to start with, right? So when exactly you want to run your invoice schedule, and identifying the actuals which can be marked as ready to invoice will be done by the project manager. Once that is done, taking it to invoice and taking it all the way to your financial systems, whatever it may be. It could be F&O and even other ERP as well, right? Because we have 3 deployment modes where user can take directly to F&O or to any other third-party ERP as well. Now, once we have these invoicing schedules and invoices raised, if it is a fixed price project, you can run your revenue recognition project on the F&O module, or you can take this actual information and estimate information and go to your own financial system and run your revenue recognition model. Since project operations is a Dataverse-based application, we kind of provide a shared experiences across all other Dataverse-based or model-driven apps, right? D365 Sales, Microsoft Project, or Field Service, Finance, and Human Resources. Finance and Human Resources, we have an integrated deployment, which actually works seamlessly with these two systems. And Field Service and Sales is since they are part of the same Dataverse instance, you'll be able to do and mix and match and compare the changes, whatever you see in the sales are available in project operations, and similarly, changes on the project are available in the resources of your field service if you are using a shared resource for your field service deployment as well. You don't need to build an integration for these apps. Okay.
So Niranjan, there's a question.
Yes.
Is it possible to use agents in project ops? I think you're going to talk about it later, right?
Yes, we do have. We will talk about a couple of agents, and we can talk about it at length. Yeah. Any other questions?
We have a quick time check also. So
yeah, sure.
I have a question if I can ask one now.
Yes.
If we look at this slide that you just explained, I know that for expense management, can you use expense management full with all deployment types, and are there other functionalities that are only for some deployment types? Is there something you can say about what can you do with the different deployment types?
Yeah. Different deployment types. I plan to cover that as a section, like
okay.
What are the different deployment types. Yeah, I will cover that in there.
Perfect.
Okay. Why project operations as an offering is something which is attractive is also because we stand tall on our extensible Microsoft ecosystem. right? So Microsoft Cloud, which application being a Dataverse based application, and we are having close to 1400 connectors, which will help you to connect to almost any other system out there, right? So you will be able to extend any other extension business process which you want to build on top of project operations. And we also have Copilot Studio, and since it is database based application, uh, even your agent building is something which is seamless with respect to Microsoft using Microsoft Copilot Studio and database based applications. You'll be able to build your own agents pretty easily, right? And Teams is natively integrated into project operations. You'll be able to see a conversations then and there itself in the app. And the rest of the security is given, and you have the Power Platform and the low code, no code platform availability for you for all the extensions which you can build on top of project operations, right? So we stand tall on this entire ecosystem, and our play is an ecosystem play, never a single product play. So that is how we kind of claim. Now let's look at the value themes and what is the real value of the way we design project operations will offer to you as a partner who you can tell to your customers as well, right? So there are different business processes, right, from the sales process, planning process, resourcing process, executing process, tracking, and invoice and financials. In any project execution, the moment you see these cracks, there is always possibility that there is something which is dropped between these cracks if there are two different systems serving these processes. That is our true belief, and this is the actually has been observed with most of our customers who work before project operations in different tools and technologies, and even Excels for that matter. And when they come to project operation, this is the real value which they see, right? Where there is a seamless handoff between sales and delivery teams. So that means whatever you have agreed upon with your customer is something which is actually land in your planning and resource management, right? And single source of truth for resource pricing and estimation and availability. This is one of the biggest pain points of most of our customers would face with respect to your like what is my real cost of my entire division, if not at a project level. That is something a $1 million question which people would like to get an answer of, because at any point of time there is a change in your price, and you can define prices. I mean, if you have a flexibility which we have in project operations, where for the same customer, even if you have a master sales agreement and you want to provide a competitive pricing for this particular contract, without much of ado, you'll be able to achieve that particular need, where for this particular customer, for this particular contract, the sales price of a team member is $100, not $200, which is a list price, because you want to win this particular contract. But at the same time, for the same resource, the cost is going to be the same. It is not going to differ because you are given a discount to your customer, right? So this kind of a comparison analysis of what the profitability of your project when compared to what exactly the reality, it has to be accurate for you to actually plan your projects well and execute your projects well, right? So this having a single source of truth for resource pricing, estimation, and also availability, right? So unless you have a single place where you can bring in your resource management and project management together, where the resources who you are going to hire are the ones who are available for you to plan. If this tight coupling is not there, you will find issues with respect to your resource utilization dropping, and you are not having a visibility into where exactly a resource is available for a deployment, right? And multiple contracting models, maybe time and material and fixed price in a single project, you'll be able to achieve it, right? Basically, and also with respect to productivity with tailored experiences, project managers from ideation to close, right? So you as a project manager, you can build your own way of planning your project, and with respect to right from the quote, it lands directly into your plan, and during execution you'll be able to manage your entire execution with the availability of the resources. And when you actually close, you have a single source of truth with respect to how are my tasks, where they are assigned, and what is the progress which I made with those particular tasks, and how I actually closed it. Right. So you have a single pane of glass of your workforce plan and your the skills and the availability. So it is a powerful tool if you want to get the best out of it. If you bring all these business processes together, you will have a fantastic experience of running your projects efficiently with profitability. Yeah. So this is something which we kind of claim. Transformation of your service delivery operations with Copilot from sales to revenue is something which we are marching towards, and this is our promise, right? So before I go to AI evolution, let me, since I talked about the all the modules and the capabilities, let me quickly show you a quick glimpse of these things in the product itself. I'll take about 5 minutes, not more than that, to show you a bunch of things, right? So this is our project operations screen, and we have multiple areas starting with the sales. As I told you, the sales team starts with the lead opportunities, quote and quotes and contact, where the leader opportunity generated in D365 sales is available here. And you can have multiple quotes, and each quote can have multiple versions of it, where you will be able to identify, hey, what is the profitability at a quote level, right? And what exactly the cost compared to the revenue which I'm generating out of it, and how exactly it spans across over a period of time, right? So this kind of a view is something which will give you at a quote level itself a clear understanding of your profitability margin. And you will be able to, once you actually win the product quote and create a contract, it is available for you to take it for next phase of planning, right? And each of those contracts will come with multiple contract lines with respect to project-based lines and the product-based lines. Suppose say you have a product which is an IP, and you want to make it part of your project execution. You can very well make it part of your contract and give it a different price for it, right? So that is what the product-based lines is. And for a project-based lines, you have your a clear understanding of your plan and what exactly is happening against that particular plan. You can bring directly into your contract and say that, hey, I mean, whether I want to charge all the tasks, or I want to pick the bunch of tasks which I can make it chargeable and non-chargeable, it's up to you. You'll be able to model that at a very granular level, which will actually flow into your entire code which you have created, right? So this is about the contract. Once the contract has been won, the project is in an execution phase. You will come to this. This is a project main screen, which is available here once it is transformed, and then once it moves from sales to project. And in the project screen, you have, so this is the place where a project manager will live and breathe. And all these tabs, the names, what you want to see is something which can be tuned or changed as per the customer needs. If end user wants, I want something in a different order, absolutely, you can go ahead and do it. It is a simple low code, no code model driven application, right? So the primary, let me do a refresh here. Once it loads, I will show you the list of tasks, whatever has been defined, and all the activities which happened in under task pane. Let me show you this. Yeah, so this is the Microsoft project embedded within the project operations shell. So all your task planning can happen within this particular shell itself, where you can define the tasks, the subtasks, the dependencies you can define. Like you can just go and do the dependencies, depends on this one. And you can have the assignment of the resources. You can change the assignment of the resources who are working on this particular project task, and the duration of it. You can also update the percentage complete then and there itself, which actually concludes this particular task. And this task plan will also can be seen under timeline view, where you can see you can bring them and create the dependencies between those tasks. So you can see you can, if you want to say that, hey, this is dependent on this one, you can just create the dependency here, right? So it is the good old Gantt chart what we have in an MS projects is available then here itself. And you'll be able to understand the assignments, the list of people, and when you say assignments, you'll be able to see all these, the at a task level or at a resource level, you'll be able to see how is my assignment of my people against the task, right? So who are all the people who are assigned to this particular project? You'll be able to see the details of them as well. And if you want to run in even an agile kind of a mode, you will be able to run your Scrum boards as well, where you'll be able to create the tasks against different people, and you'll be able to move them accordingly. So this is also possible to track within the project management module what we have. Now, let me show you the list of, these are the team members who are part of the project. Now, this project, now you can create suppose you can create a project plan with an available generic resource, right? So when you say generic resource, these are the people who are, like, what is the kind of requirement you have. You need a functional specialist from this time to this time, and this is the kind of position I'm looking at, and this is the resourcing unit I'm trying to get from, right? So you can take generate requirements, or you can see suggest resources, right? So suggest resources is an capability where system will be able to understand the requirement and try to locate the list of resources who are close match for this particular requirement, and it will be able to show you the list of resources who are available to you for any of those needs. And it takes the availability, the skills, and the score. So if you look at the score here, you'll be able to see whether the particular resource is an experience fit, skill match, or the available, and what is the cost impact of that particular resource. You will be able to make a choice then and there itself, and take the advantage of this particular capability which we have added, where you'll be able to pick the right resource for the job. If you don't want to use this and you want to create, hey, I want to create a resource requirement, you will be able to do that. Once you create a resource requirement, then comes your resources module. Resources module is available here, and where you'll be able to see all the resources and the details of the resource, right from the skills, the schedule availability, all those things are available for against the resource, which can be looked at in a schedule board. Suppose say the requirement, generate requirement which has been created before will land in this particular section, where in the schedule board you'll be able to see for again this particular project what is the requirement I have, and I can look for the resource who matches this particular need. So this you can do manually if you don't want to go with the suggest resource option. And if you don't find the corresponding resource, you'll be able to change the filter, something like this, and say that, hey, I don't mind when this particular resource is available to me, and let me search a resource, and I don't mind what is the kind of resource I'm looking for. I just want to show you the kind of capabilities what we have here with, yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. So it will give me the kind of resources I have for this particular requirement, and you'll be able to book. And when you say book, you can do an hard book, soft book, and also you can propose this particular resource as a resource manager, which will actually land in the project manager to be able to identify, accept this particular resource or not, right? So you can also look at your utilization of the resources, like where exactly my resources are booked and what is their availability against uh, how many are booked against the available resources. Right now, 0 are booked for me, right? So this is the and fantastic view for your project managers and resource managers to get a visibility into their entire project and also resources. Now, once you assign resources to a project, right, you'll be able to get to see the estimates, right? So these are the estimates with respect to the cost and also sales, which is a reflective of your current plan, right? So where you'll be able to understand at a period level how exactly my cost and sales are spanning or how I planned, and you'll be able to understand what exactly is my cost or sales per a particular week. If the difference between estimates and budgets, which you see in a moment, is that estimates are something which changes when a plan changes, right? We want estimates to be that way. But if you want to create something where you say that here, I want to create an budget which is not changing with a plan, and I need to run an workflow where I need to approve the budget to get to the state where I assign a budget against a project for different tasks, and I want to track my actuals against the budget and identify the variance and update the forecast. Budget is a module available to you, right? When we're talking about resources, if you are in a position where you are not able to find the resources within your resourcing unit, you can go for a subcontract, and we have a full-fledged subcontract management, which is also natively integrated to finance and operations, right? So that is how you manage your projects. Now, as a team member, you can the kind of capabilities what you need is that, hey, I need to have a plan way where I can log my time entries and log my expenses if I'm incurring, and if I'm using a material, I want to log the material usage, right? So we have these views where you can create the time entries, expenses, material usage. This is something which we have delivered recently, where there is a calendar view with respect to you can get a view of what exactly is my total time which I've spent on a project. And let me see if I can. Yeah, this is okay. So this is my duration is 24 hours of work, and this is for my task. So okay, so this is I created a time entry for this. Okay, so something is not okay in this environment for me. But suppose you have this time entry created, you'll be able to see how many hours you have logged and what is pending for you, right? So this is my time entry.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
question like, is it possible to create time entries using mobile device?
Yes, we do have a mobile application which is already available. It is a Power App where users will be able to log the time entries. Yeah. So there was a question about, hey, what is the different deployment types we have? So let me paste a link for this in the chat. Okay, so we do have 3 deployment types, right? From project operations core, project operations integrated with ERP, and project operations for manufacturing, right? So project operations core and project operations integrated is something which I explained which is the Dataverse part of the application, right? So project operations core is a pure Dataverse application. Project operations integrated with ERP, the Dataverse application integrated seamlessly with finance and operations using dual write, right? So all the accounting, like you can imagine that till pro forma invoice, things happen in project operations score. And from the pro forma invoice point of view, from pro forma invoice onwards, the entire operations with accounting will happen within FNO if it is integrated with ERP. If it is a project operations score, the integration to your existing ERP, you'll be able to do it pretty easily with the 1400 connectors, whatever we have, which connects to every other ERP out there in the world, right? So that is the two deployment modules, and we do have project operations for manufacturing. So this is our FNO based project management and accounting module, which is within FNO. There is no Dataverse application here. I did not spoke about it at all today, but this is the application which is part of project management and accounting, which is part of finance and operations, which lies within the shell of finance and operations. So we do have 3 deployment modules. Based on the need, you can choose one among these 3. All 3 are supported, all 3 are well funded, and we support all 3 deployment types. That is about the 3 deployment types what we have. Now, changing the gears, right? So with respect to project operations, I spoke about how we built till now and the bunch of capabilities which we have added, and what is our philosophy with respect to how we want to treat the AI infusion into the project operations, right? So we are starting with low stakes to high stakes, wherein from the capabilities where we guide the users to do how do I do all the way to autonomous actions and agents. So this is the direction in which we are moving, wherein we kind of build a time expense and approval agent, but branding point of view, you will see time and expense agent, wherein in a current state, the time entry part where you want all your employees to log your time with all the details in a compliant way is a big task. Without that, you will get into a state where your time entries are not logged in time, which needs to be enforced by force for you to be compliant and generate invoices in a within the stipulated time, right? So we have an agent for that called time entry agent. Other part is the expense part of your story, right? So we do have expense module, which is part of finance and operations. We have an expense agent there, which actually seamlessly creates your expense entries and creates expense reports if you just send an receipt to it, right? So that is an expense agent for it. I'll show a quick demo of that in a moment. And you also have an approvals agent, which based on the rules which you define for your approvals of time entries, like you may say that, hey, I mean, no time entry should be approved if that particular time entry is not tied to a task which is part of a contract, right? So you can have it, right? I mean, you don't want to log any time entries for the time which you don't want to track. Or you can say that, I mean, I don't allow any time entry without a comment is created for the for my client to review, right? So all such time entries generally need to go through a manual approval of your project manager. Imagine a scenario with 10-member team with 5 time entries coming from every person every day. At the end of the week, project manager will have about close to 400 time entries to approve, right? So that is a very tedious task for your project manager. It will actually drain them out during the Friday evening, where they will just go select all and approve all the time entries, right? Which may result in your churn at an invoice stage. So to avoid all these things, so what we have done is we have developed an agent for both time, expense, and approval, which actually brings all these things together and helps you reduce your day sales outstanding. So that is the value proposition what we have. And let me run this.
There's a question.
Time and expense.
Let me know if you are able to hear the voice.
Agent includes 3 common scenarios completed every day by employees across organizations worldwide. The first of these is generating and submitting expenses. As an employee, all you need to do is send an email containing your receipts to the agent. While you carry on with your day-to-day tasks, the agent takes each receipt, extracts all the information, and groups them into expense reports aligned to your projects in Dynamics 365. You can review these expenses in detail by digging into each category and making any adjustments as needed directly in the flow. When you're ready, all you need to do is click Submit Full Report, and it will send it off to your manager. The next scenario that the agent supports is making it significantly easier to generate your time entries. As an employee, you can set your preferences for how you want time entries to be generated. Bang on time, your time entries for the week appear. The agent has pulled in all of the activities of the week, the project names and tasks, and it's generated comments using a combination of Dynamics 365 project operations and Outlook. You can edit if needed, submit to your manager, and get back to focusing on your impactful work. The final scenario that the agent supports is helping managers to approve the vast quantities of time entries they receive each week. Simply by uploading a policy document, the agent will follow the specific approval roles defined by the business. Entries can be reviewed, categorized, and optionally auto-approved by the agent. As a project manager, you can see all the entries that have been submitted by the team. The agent has reviewed each entry and presents you with the reason for any non-compliant entries. With a few clicks, these entries can be pushed back to the team members to correct. Next, the manager can bulk approve all compliant entries and their work is done. Approving hundreds of entries each week has been reduced to an efficient and effective task that no longer blocks them from focusing on driving greater impact for their project team.
Yeah.
Time and expense.
Yeah. So we have a question, Niranjan, from, I think, Lune, and then
please.
a couple in the chat.
Yes, I was just thinking, does the agents work with all deployment types?
Yeah, so time and approval works with both core and integrated. Expense is something which is part of Dynamics 365 manufacturing, project operations manufacturing. Yeah.
Thank you.
And there's another question. Can we run a mixed mode of deployment in type 2 and type 3 in one environment or even one legal entity?
Type 2 and type 3 in one legal entity. I mean, technically, yes, but what happens is that we, the moment we say integrated deployment, which actually boils down to the fact that you will not be able to do some operations with respect to which are allowed in project operations core, right? So having said that, there is a capability which we are working on, which is called parallel use, where you can slowly migrate from the old to new, right? So from a PMA kind of a deployment to project operations integrated, it is a like you have projects which you don't want to move and continue to execute in PMA for some, and for some you want to build an integrated deployment. You'll be able to slowly migrate from old to new. So that is the capability which is in works. Yeah.
Okay, and I think there's one more question, like, does Project Ops integrates with SAP ECC6?
Yes, anything. For that, the deployment type to be used is the project operations core. You can build an integration with SAP, ECC, or S/4HANA or anything, right? So, and we do have many examples of customers doing to SAP, to Oracle, to name a few prime vendors.
Okay, great.
Any other questions, Sweta?
No, I think we've addressed the questions in the chat, but we are on time, I think. But how much is everybody okay? Staying
I
2
think we
more
are
minutes?
done. I don't want to take any more time, but I mean, we kind of build a product which is actually even recognized by our industry and analyst recognition, right? So it's not we saying, So Microsoft Dynamics 365 Project Operations is identified as a leaderboard in both Gartner and also Forrester IDC, right? So this is a couple of like testimonials from our customers, not only in IT or ITS services, even in manufacturing. This is tax, and this is our like DB dashboard is a transport, right? So it's like it is covering beyond industries. Wherever there is something where if you have a resource who you can hire, project operations is something which can be used. It could be under not only IT, ITES, construction, manufacturing, project-based manufacturing, your legal, your tax. All these industries can take advantage of project operations, where you want to track your projects right from start to end in a better way. So that is the project operations for you. And thank you, Shweta, for the opportunity to share a few things for this team.
Yep. Thank you. Thanks, Niranjan. So I hope everybody got to learn something. So we hope to like continue these sessions. And I think in case you guys are interested in any specific topic, do feel free to drop a note to me or Niranjan. And we'll see like how we can organize on those topics.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Niranjan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank